Chapter 2. Birth. Remember, my princess, as long as you remain in this guise, your true self must be buried and forgotten. It is not enough to only act, you must be. Allow Zelda to be set aside so that your new self may be born into this world. Zelda had taken the words to heart, or at least she thought she had tried. But it was hard to forget who and what she was when she was going through all of this for the sole purpose of regaining it. Her kingdom, her people, her rightful place as the Princess of Hyrule. Zelda thought only of this during the long hours of training and sparring with Impa, the long months of honing her body and mind into that of a warrior, the long years of hiding in exile and waiting for her chance to set things right. Waiting for the one who would give her that chance. The day came all of a sudden, and quite before she felt prepared enough to assume the guise that Impa had crafted for her. Zelda sensed the awakening call from the sacred realm and set off for the Temple of Time with all haste, convinced the whole way that she would be too late. But she had hardly set foot inside before the empty pedestal that once held the Master Sword was engulfed by a column of brilliant light. And there he was. Hidden in the shadows of the edges of the chamber, Zelda caught her breath. Link was in the center of that light, hovering just above the stone with his arms outspread and his face tipped up toward the heavens, eyes shut serenely. It was almost impossible to believe. The hero had been returned to them, born anew, and baptized in the power of the goddesses. As the light faded, Link was set gently on his feet. He blinked sluggishly, took a single step, and stumbled, catching himself on his hands and knees. Zelda almost went to his side, but he had already recovered. Link raised his head to look at his surroundings, and now he stood up, a bit unsteady still. His fairy said something, and he murmured a response, his deepened voice resonating through the chamber. Zelda remembered herself just as he began to walk to the door, remembered her purpose in being here. She came forward into the weak sunlight streaming through the high window. Link paused, his shoulders growing tense. In an instant, the Master Sword was drawn and he whirled to face her, wary eyes lingering on the sheathed dagger and veiled face. And though she had expected it, Zelda felt a stab of hurt that he didn't know her at once. After all they had been through, all the promises they had made to help each other, to stand against this evil together. The Master Sword lowered just slightly. Link had seen the symbol on her tabard, the stylized eye and teardrop that was the mark of the Sheikah. He looked into her eyes again, and there was perhaps a little less suspicion, but still no warmth or recognition. He looked on her as he would a stranger, seeing only the face that she had created, and not the one Zelda wanted him to see. The one that he could never see until Ganondorf's downfall, if they lived to see the day. Goddesses, let that day come quickly. Who are you? Zelda wanted to fall to her knees and weep at how much they had lost, at how unfairly the world had treated them both. But she was not Zelda anymore, and the Sheikah that she had become had no use for such pitiful sentiments. So she crossed her arms and gazed on the hero with dispassion. I'm Sheik, survivor of the Sheikah. And she, too, was born anew.